just that goes to show what this organization what the future holds for the organization. Winning football, underdog mentality. Go out there and every game play like it's your last. And you got guys in here who's going to do that, and I know that's for a fact because if you didn't have those guys, I wouldn't be preparing to retire. I just know this organization is going to be in a great place, and I know guys around going to be able to lead this organization to the promised land.
What is up, Bucks fans? We are live here on a Tuesday night. It's Real Bucks Talk here with you guys, and hope you guys are all having a great day. Obviously, very emotional time as a Bucks fan, as Lavonte David was talking there, not only talking about his retirement, but the future of the team, and still feels like it's in a very good place going forward. So, Mark, welcome in. It's good to be talking Buccaneers football. A lot to go over, but obviously the big news: Lavonte David calls it a career, a future Hall of Famer for sure. I think it's pretty easy to say that. I think he's well earned and did everything right here in Tampa Bay, and I think he's had one of just a heck of all-time great Buccaneer for life.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's like the figure of consistency. That's something we've been talking about over the offseason as well. A guy that when you knew he was on the field, he was going to give it his all. Like a thing that I always go back to seeing about Lavonte David. It's a guy that, as an undersized linebacker, he was undersized. He wasn't even the fastest. He ran a 4.65, smaller hands. I think it was 8 3/4. Everyone looks at the combine, they're like, oh, that's not going to make it because that's not matching this tier of hand size, arm length, speed, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
The guy just played football the right way. And he said it during his press conference. He just loved the game. He didn't even think about the Hall of Fame or all these other things. He just played. He didn't care about accolades. He literally listened to people like you and me or ESPN that would talk shit. He's like, okay, I'm going to show you guys that I'm better than that and that I am worthy of being one of the best on the field. And he was a guy that when you saw a pulling guard, you knew Lavonte was going to man up and go right through his ass. That was like a calling card of him. And like everyone, I'm watching all these different live streams and other podcasts go over it. They're like naming certain plays. I'm like, no, it was just a guy that you knew when you had to push the shit in, like he'd do it. Like it didn't matter. Like he's going to go over there and stick his nose into something that normal guys, they'd be like, oh, that's my money, or it's going to hurt my finger. He didn't give a shit. He just went in there and he sacrificed himself a lot. And I think over the past couple of years, people would think his level of play went down severely. I think it was just more because the players around him were just so much less. And when you're asked to do too much, you get pulled different ways. But ultimately, Lavonte was a phenomenal player here, a Hall of Fame player, like you just mentioned, and just did everything right. Yes, he didn't make the incredible pick sixes that maybe would make him a sure first ballot Hall of Famer or get the exact thing, but he was always in the right position. He was right there, loading up tackles. Like a guy that when we watched him way back when, we're like, this is our dude. There's a guy that we wanted to draft. And when it all matches up like that, and he's on your team for 14 years, you're seeing it. It's just, it's crazy how fast the time goes. And you cherish the guys that you really like, but at the end of the day, he's moving on because he left it all on the field. And I applaud Lavonte, and he was very emotional, and it just shows what it meant to him and how he's moving forward to the next steps of his life.
Yeah, well said. I think as Bucks fans, he represented this organization at the very highest level he could have, and like you're talking about him just continuing to commit to that excellence on and off the field, brought us a championship, helped us win in 2020. So I think that was just an awesome time, especially through all the hard times, the difficult times he went through as a player. And he talked about that and how it motivated him and to play his whole career here in Tampa, just like Rondé Barber, Derek Brooks did. Like that's going to mean a lot. And he's just going to be always well respected among the fans. And I think his legacy is definitely set in stone. He'll be in the Ring of Honor, I'm sure, within the next couple of years, and then also Hall of Fame. I think it's real easy. I mean, I brought it up here to be tied with Derek Brooks as the all-time franchise tackle leader, and it's poetic that he tied with Derek. And Derek's in the Hall of Fame, so I think Lavonte should be right there next to him. I think that is, I mean, that's as good as you can get. And then also, I saw the stat where I think he was top 3, or there was only 3 players that had, I think, over 1,000 tackles, had over 35 sacks, 40 interceptions, or something along those lines. And both of the other players were Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher, and they're both in the Hall of Fame. So I think it's pretty easy to make the case for him, and just a great player. And it's awesome that, I love that I have this jersey that I got, and it's just a Buccaneer that you can always count on. And he was just so well respected, not only among Bucs fans and local, but I think more so when other teams and other NFL players talked about him, they always spoke very highly, even if he didn't get the national respect of Pro Bowls and stuff like that. But we all knew how great he was as a football player.
There you go. And then just looking at it here, he was top 10 in tackles all time. He's number 7.
Right.
Right there with Derek Brooks. But that's why I almost wanted him for one more year.
Mm-hmm.
But let him let the man make the decision he wants to make. Because if he had one more year, he's probably top 3, top 4.
Yeah.
Right there under Bobby Wagner. But the guy just did a little bit of everything. He would force turnovers. He'd punch the ball out. He would be around the ball no matter what, sideline to sideline. But you didn't necessarily need to have 4.4 speed. He was just a smarter guy. I love him talking about how when BA and Bowles came in here, he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to play in this scheme. I'm a 4-3 middle linebacker or outside linebacker. How am I going to go to middle linebacker now?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, I like this. This is something I can do." And it was cool, to hear it. He fell in love with the game again, and he's just a player that, especially with us talking about scheme fit and draft time right now, everyone's so worried about, he ain't gonna work in that system. If you're smart enough, if you're a football player, you can find a way. Coaches find a way to use you. And Lavonte was such a damn good player that he's an easy fix.
Mm-hmm.
He's smart enough to know what the hell to do and where to be and when to be there. And that's why I was I wanted him to back one more year, not just for numbers, but he just knows what to do. He's going to make things easier for everyone else around him.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just, he will be missed, like Ken said up here.
Mm-hmm.
He represented us in the big way during the worst of times. No one deserved to get a ring more than he did, and he did.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see him get the flowers today, but I mean, his teammates know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe these reporters and media and outlets don't know crap because he's such a mellow guy. During this interview, he was more just so mellow. He's like, "Oh, I didn't even think about all that. This is great. I love the game. That's it." He's not a cocky guy. He's not a showboat guy. He does things the right way. And that's literally what a Buccaneer man is. And that's what Jason Light made this mantra after.
Yeah. One cool story that I'll bring up for, the audience and fans is, I remember you and I talking about that draft, and we were all in on Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was me or you, but someone brought up Lavonte David, and we're like, this Lavonte David guy is pretty damn good. And I just remember us talking about him and the potential of getting them both. Yeah, and cool. Having them both on the same team. And Bucs fans know how it went. We ended up drafting Mark Barron. Didn't work out. But they ended up getting Lavonte, I think, with 58th overall pick in the second round, which is crazy to think about. And I saw the clip of Mel Kiper talking about him and he was one of the top 25 players in that draft, and he should have been probably a first round pick when it's all said and done. But it was just funny how we were talking about that, and could have had them both on the same team, and what a linebacker duo that would have been. But yeah, Lavonte, getting him where we did, on top of getting Doug Martin, RIP. But yeah, just full circle. That was, it feels like it was a moment ago, but
yeah,
during that time, he's presented us with a lot of great moments, and he will always be one of the Buccaneer greats. So that will always go down in history. So just congrats to him. And now we move forward to, a new change, a new era almost, with new leadership. Mike Evans is no longer here. Lavonte David is retiring.
Truly.
And yeah, and he talked about some of the younger guys like Kalijah Cansey, Tyke Smith, Antoine Winfield, Yaya Diaby was mentioned. So those guys are going to be the new faces on defense and look to be leaders for this team. So what's your thoughts as we move forward into this time with basically new faces of the franchise stepping in?
Yeah, so it's all over social media. And I don't necessarily think that's the true voice of what is going on, but it is loud, very loud. And it's very much point the finger. We suck. We're going to have a top 5 pick next year. This is the end of everything. I know we all like certain players. We all pull from, hell, even when looking at the draft, we want certain guys, right? If we don't draft them, we get upset. All right, what the hell were they thinking? What stupid, right? No, but you got to move forward and realize, okay, at the end of the day, I'm rooting for the Buccaneers, and I want them to be good. I want them to be successful and move forward and make the right moves. And it's like almost everything that the Buccaneers do since they brought back Todd Bowles has been wrong. And everything's been Todd Bowles' fault. Jason Light signing piece of crap free agent, supposedly. And I think that's probably Todd Bowles' fault too. Mike Evans leaving, Todd Bowles' fault. Lavonte David retiring, Todd Bowles' fault. And I think that's literally a lot of what the fans think. And I can see where they're saying it because it's frustrating. Okay, you went through these spurts of losing, but still, like Lavonte said himself, the only reason why he would come back is because of Todd Bowles. So if they would have fired him, he probably would have retired earlier. I think Lavonte was going a lot more through his knee injuries than people want to lead on.
Yeah.
And just because he is that type of player that doesn't give a shit, he's just going to show up and do his job and put his level of play at where he expects himself to be, not where everyone else thinks he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And guys like that don't grow on trees. That is a self-grown man, a fire inside your belly that when you unleash him onto the field, he's a whole different animal. Be lucky you got to see him. Guys like him, Tom Brady, Mike Evans, like guys like that in the Buccaneer uniform, right? But at the end of the day, we got to keep moving forward. The next chapter comes about. It doesn't mean necessarily it's going to be the Great Depression. Okay, guys, we can't keep thinking that way.
Yeah.
Jason Light is making little moves here and there. They're up. Yeah, they are upgrades over things that we had last year. In my opinion, they are upgrades. To say that they're trash is a little bit ridiculous, especially when you look at the numbers, right?
Agreed.
Losing Lavonte sucks, but you yourself said it at the end of the year. He should probably retire. His level of play went down.
Yeah.
We need to get faster in that area. Is our new signing Bozeman? Or is he at? He's not even on. Roseboom. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bozeman. Roseboom, speed threat, no, but he's a guy that's smart, plays the game right. Alex Anzalone, smart, plays the game right. To me, this is playing into my mantra of just get competent linebackers and get beef up in the middle and get yourself some edge rushers. So the job of the middle linebackers is that much easier. There's multiple ways you can look at a defense and how you can attack. But I truly felt that was what we needed to do, and I like what's going on right now. I don't necessarily think you need an elite athlete at your middle linebacker position. If your defensive line is god awful, yeah, you need them. Because I view it as the offensive line and running back is. If you have a great O line, you can have anyone back there. Plus, you could be back there and gain 150 yards a game.
Yeah.
If you had 5 Tristan Wirfs in front of you.
Right. Here's a little better depth chart here. A little more updated. So Kalijah Cansey.
Yeah.
Vita.
So yeah, there's the whole roster. But I'm just saying, like, how are you going to build your roster? And I think Jason is kind of building it that way. Let's invest in some defensive line. I'm guaranteeing you there's going to be more defensive tackle help coming eventually.
Yeah.
And 100% there's going to be an edge rush help. So the off season's not over yet. There can still be trades. There can still be plenty of draft picks. Let it come about. And David Walker is waiting in the wings. So you got at least some depth in the edge. Yeah. But you need to find something to get better. Have we gotten better this offseason? I think it's a push. Because you lose Mike Evans, that's huge. It's a huge loss.
Yeah.
You lose Lavonte David, huge loss in experience and awareness. But like you said, he was getting older, slowing down. It wasn't the same guy. So, like, defensively, I think it's kind of a push. And I think we actually got better because you got Logan Hall off the field. That's a liability. Y'all know how we feel about him. So,
yeah.
Offensively, I think if you just get a better play caller, you're doing better. But the new chapter has begun. Who's the old spokesman right now? Right, Vita Vea?
Vita Vea on defense, I think. Right. Well, obviously, the new people that they've added, with Anzalone, I think will step up as a leader.
No, I mean more like long tenure Buccaneer.
Oh, yeah, Vita Vea, right? It's gonna be Vita Vea, and he'll step up and be a captain.
And Nelly.
And Anthony Nelson. But Vita, is obviously the longest tenured. You also have Chris Godwin on offense, who was in 2017. So he would be the longest tenured on offense. And then Vita would be right behind him. So those are your, new faces that are going to step up here. But I think there's plenty of guys. And, Lavonte really spoke up about Tyke Smith being that dog type alpha leader. Yeah. And I think he's one that really can step up his game. And it's going to depend on what they do in the draft. And I think the positions that they've already added in free agency at defensive line with A'Shawn Robinson, Al-Qadim Muhammad at outside linebacker. So that's your edge into your defensive line. And they've added 2 linebackers. That is going to be the repeat formula in this upcoming draft. They're going to draft 1 linebacker, 1 edge, 1 interior defensive lineman. And it might happen within the first 4 picks of this draft. So I think that's going to be a priority. Offensively, I think you're pretty much set. There could be an addition at tight end to upgrade tight end number 2. Zach Robinson likes to use 12 personnel, so I think you could see that be utilized more. In interior offensive line depth, maybe you get a bigger receiver, but you're pretty much set at quarterback. You're set at running back. You have things that are in place to be pretty successful there. Defensively, Mark talked about adding more in free agency. I think there could be additions at corner, especially post draft time, and I think you could look at maybe another interior defensive lineman if they don't get the right one in this draft. There's still a lot of good names out there that are available. So the Bucs, I think, are doing the right things despite what outsiders are saying or fans are saying, because nothing has been, I guess, splash first news on SportsCenter. Like, these are just adding good football players, and that can't go unnoticed.
Yeah, so I guess it's more thinking, not even thinking outside the box, just thinking splash doesn't necessarily win you games. Like, when was the last time a team that went out and just signed nothing but player after player after player succeeded? I mean, maybe you can say the Patriots because they signed a lot of guys last year. I think it's just more because they had too much money to spend and they had good coaching, kind of put it together, and ultimately had a good quarterback, and the defense is what got them there.
Yeah.
it just doesn't usually work. You got to build it from within. And yes, you're churning the bottom of the roster, and teams can flip really quick when they're asked to do things properly, like the Jaguars, like look what Liam Cohen can do, right?
Mhm.
I think it's a lot of it's just a loss of faith in your head coach, and they're going to blame everything, and they're hoping for losing immediately so they can jump down his throat, right? But at the end of the day, it's like this guy was started the season 5-1, 6-2.
Mhm.
It's the same guy.
Yeah.
Right? And injuries suck, yes. But it's the same damn guy. Every damn game was close, same damn guy. And I rooted against him at the end of the year. I'll flat out say that I did. I was all over Twitter doing that, or X, whatever the hell it is. But like, it's Lavonte said it himself. The man knows defensive ball. He knows how to make people be where they're supposed to be. I saw something on Shelton Coral saying that we're relying on the guys that we know are good, as in Jason Light and Todd Bowles, guys that know the game. I just think we as fans get way too emotional and want something to appease our feelings instead of, because think about it, look, all the thing, Mike Evans, gone. Feelings hurt. Lavonte David, gone. Oh, damn, feelings hurt again. It's a lot of feelings going on.
Yeah.
There's just things that need to be done business-wise. Age happens. Things slow down. Guys get hurt. You can't keep having that and keep paying it, especially with paying Mike Evans. I understand. I loved him, wanted him here. But with that room so loaded, it's hard, right? But business-wise, you got to move money around. Don't get me started with the cash over cap bullshit. I will talk about that later. But I think it was something that needed to move us forward. Like you said, get younger, bigger, faster, stronger, whatever.
Yeah.
But let's see how it's being utilized. Because I think Todd Bowles had something going in the beginning of the season when he had, like I said, Tyke Smith in the box being like an extra linebacker. Hell, even Jacob Parrish was almost like an extra linebacker at times. But then Kalijah Kancey goes down and all hell breaks loose. Hassan Reddick got hurt. You had no edge rush. It was nothing. And it just got uglier and uglier. But yeah, like let it play out. I think that the moves that they're doing are good enough. You didn't necessarily need a makeover. And we've touched on that multiple times. But
yeah,
I mean, am I speaking out of my ass plus? Or is there food for thought in some of the things I'm saying?
No, I think you're making good points as far as where this team was last year when it started to, go downhill. We've talked about like numerous times as far as what I think Todd Bowles struggles with. It's, when he gets in season and certain things happen, and this is a combination of lack of depth, lack of, I think, the coaching staff around him at times, and he has made certain changes in the secondary and also in the defensive line at those spots, but the in-season adjustments is something that this team has struggled with, and I think you can put that into a box where Josh Grizzard, first-time play caller, offensive coordinator, it didn't work. And I think a lot of that brought struggle to this team.
100%.
It put a lot of stress, not only on Coach Bowles as a head coach, but it also brought down your most obvious strength, which is your offense. And when that started to tumble, plus the injuries on top of that on the offensive line, you really had no foundation or consistent soundboard to work off of. And then when the defense, and you lose the most critical parts of your defense in Kalijah Kancey, in a Hassan Reddick, also a David Walker, who they were counting on highly, industry sources.
But, industry sources.
But Larry,
sorry.
I mean, it makes sense because when you look at Larry Foote's reaction and how excited he was, he's like, "Oh, Super Bowl!" Like, so obviously they believe very highly in the kid, and if he comes balling out this year, I think we're all going to be in for a treat.
Yeah.
But again, he has to go out there and do it. And I think the plan is, I like how they've entered this offseason and how the approach and clear conscious of what we need to make happen. They stated the obvious. We need to get bigger. We need to get more physical. We need more dogs on defense. We need attitude. And we not just need attitude, but we need veterans that can relay that to the younger guys and really bring out that type of football. So I think that's important. And I can see the plan in place. And that makes me excited about what's going to happen coming up this season if things break a certain way. They're going to need injury luck to be a lot better than it has been. And that's the case with every team. But I like what they're building, and let's see what happens in the draft. And there's still a lot to be done. I don't think they still have a lot of moves to make because you only have so many players on the roster right now. So they still have to get up to 90 players.
Yeah.
So there's going to be moves, and we'll see how it goes.
Let me take this really quick. So plays Blue Wolf said, we don't have Liam Cohen. I agree. We don't have Liam Cohen. Plus and I were both saying that we probably should have fired Bowles then and kept Liam Cohen, but they kept Todd Bowles. Glazers love him. I think him and Jason Light are married. I've said this multiple times. So Liam Cohen went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They didn't make crazy changes. They added little things here and there. Yes. I think the drastic change, there was a drastic change regardless, right? Overall record. Yeah. Their defense was phenomenal as well. Our defense was piss poor. They were a well-balanced team. They were complementary football. They got guys in the edge that can cause pressure, force turnovers, make it more advantageous for their offense to score easier. Mm-hmm. And there were times where they were just humming because of that. Complementary football does do that for you. We don't have that. We haven't had that for a few years. Is that Todd Bowles' fault? Everyone wants to blame it on him. I think it's a lack of what we had on defense. And the way that you drafted you had Logan Hall starting. It's a liability in the middle of your damn defense. What do you expect is going to happen? They're going to run down your damn throat nonstop. If Vita Vea goes off the field, you're going to get shit on. Yeah. I'm tired of it. And Servacio Dennis, we said it last year, is not a starting linebacker. And you're going to what did I say? I said it was like not a fireable offense. It was something like it was ridiculous to go into him as you're starting and relying on him to be there. And I've even seen posts where he had a good season, supposedly, some people said. Facebook and crap like that.
Oh, well, Facebook lies.
I'm just lost on that. But like they had complimentary football. Bucs haven't had complimentary football in a while because they just haven't had the dogs on the defensive side of the ball. You're too one-sided. That's why I thought Mike Evans leaving was a necessary evil. Because you just can't pay that much on that side of the ball, especially in that one damn position group. You got to.
I agree. I agree with that.
Right? We both did, and Liam Cohen's a smart mind offensively. You lost Devin Lloyd and who else? And Travis Etienne. I guess we've been pronouncing his name wrong for years. Yeah. But let's see how did they change things up and look at their damn GM. He himself said, "I'm not going to sign no one. Hell, why am I signing anyone? We're going to build through the draft. We're going to let certain guys go. We're going to trust our coaches and build." Maybe, again, feelings. You had a great feeling with the 1 year of Liam Cohen. You think that's what it is. That's 1 year of Jacksonville with a great opportunity. Can that be everlasting? Let's see, right? And I think that is like a big thing that the Glazers, too, they don't want to change drastic because of, I think the Pewter Report was saying it, like the down dog years. They don't want to go back to that. And Todd Bowles keeps him in the mix of things. Yeah. But can he get you over the top is a question. That it remains to be seen. 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah, that we'll find out. Again, it's, I think you're going to have competent players at every position of the defense this year. And it's going to be telling if he can't find a way to maximize the players that he has. And I think also find a consistent level of play week in and week out. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think. Yeah, I think Bulls should go to light and demand upgrades, and maybe we have started to do that. I think spending, player personnel, all that, it goes into the picture, but um, I think what they've added so far, like I said, is just solid football players, veterans that can help the younger guys. Now, can the coaches and the players get the messages more clear and concise, and we find a consistent week in and week out football team, and we avoid the 4-game, 5-game, 6-game losing streaks that we've seen over the last several years under Todd Bowles? That is going to be the question. Can he elevate this team, and can the players elevate themselves under the coaching and the scheme and what is designed to be better than what we've seen as far as 8-9 to 10-7 max? Can we get to 11, 12? Can we be an actual contender? That is going to be very important.
100% with you there.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell. We'll have to see. Again, injury luck, I think, is huge. You got to have your star players be on the field. Kalijah Cansey, we know, is a good football player when he's on the field. Problem is being on the field. So that is something that you have to go into the draft, and maybe they draft another 3 tech that can rush the passer a little bit. Find an edge rusher that can help you, multiply what you have in Yaya Diaby. Maybe get bigger defensive tackle to pair with Vita Vea, get more size to make it easier on the outside. I think that is what they did here in the beginning, and maybe Bowles is starting to get back to that instead of trying to overcomplicate things. Let's make it simple. Let's just get big up front and fast on the outside. And I think so far we've seen them do that. And hopefully more is to come.
Yeah. To jump off what you were saying. So why is Kalijah Cansey getting hurt so much? Right. That's the big question. Is it him not training correctly, not doing certain postseason exercises, corrective exercises? What is it? But it's always something different. It was the calf. Then it was the pec. It's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So I kind of threw this at you. I was like, maybe we are going to get bigger in the middle so that you can move Cansey out of that. So he's not in the middle the entirety of the time. He's a smaller dude. His game's based off of quickness and quick twitch and hand placement. Maybe they are going to try and use him as a chess piece. They're just going to draft bigger in the middle and have him move around. Have him be a creative guy where you can use him as a 3 tech, 5 tech outside. They used him as a freaking linebacker at times, right? Because he's that gifted athletically. He ran almost the same speed that damn Lavonte David ran. Okay, so he is technically a linebacker built as a ball of muscle, right? He almost looks like Lavonte, not their muscle, but they don't look muscular, right? But the dude's good when he's on the field. Maybe find ways to not have him facing guys that are bigger and stronger than him nonstop, right? They can pummel him. That's maybe what's holding him up and getting him hurt, because him against the run. Yeah. Maybe that's when I presented maybe they could get a Peter Woods and they throw Cansey. Okay, we're going to use you more on the edge at times. We're going to move you around on the line. Yeah. Todd Bowles, I have faith Todd Bowles can do stuff like that because he is creative with his alignments and sets and how he brings guys around. And I've used this and also to answer this question up here. As Kaylor 2 said, as a head coach, shouldn't Bowles have gone to light and demand upgrades? I'm saying this. I'm saying there's roles that people play. We're talking player roles, right? Todd Bowles understands Kalijah Cansey is a pass rusher. I'm going to set things up for him. I'm going to set things up for Antoine Winfield Jr. Send him in on blitzes. Those are your stars. You run around your stars. And you have role players that take on the stunt for your star player, or take on everyone moves the whole formation to the left so that you can get your star open on the right, right? But in this role, the Todd Bowles can cry, bitch, complain nonstop. It is not his role to take a selection. It is Jason Light's job that he gets paid for and is told by the Glazers, I want you to make a good team that's competitive year in, year out. I don't care what the hell the coach says. You can be in cohesion and saying, I like this guy, I like this guy. It's Jason's job to make the pick. You think Todd was banging on the table for Emeka Egbuka last year? Hell no, he wasn't. No, you don't shake your head. No, he wasn't.
I mean,
he was probably begging for another defensive player. He's a defensive coach.
Maybe.
If he was a defensive player, everyone said that's a Todd Bowles pick. Logan Hall, that's a Todd Bowles pick. Yeah. But again, you're going to pick Todd Bowles, but Jason Light made the pick.
He did.
Yeah. It's a role that you have.
Oh, sure, blame.
Unless you are a definitive coach GM that wants more power, I'm making the picks. No, clearly it's not. That's not how this hierarchy is. So I'm tired of the pointing fingers. Like, we all have roles.
I think they all have blame. I mean, they
all have blame, but still, who selected some of these guys, and what are we doing now?
They agree. They agree on all the picks. Like, they all have influence on the picks. When you look at Emeka Egbuka, Todd Bowles is the head coach, and that's something I try to point out to you as far as it's not just head coach of the defense. If he was, then he would just be the DC, which he is. He's the DC and the head coach. So there's a difference there. He's the head coach of the entire football team, not just the defense. Offense is included in that. And when you look at last offseason and offense of what you needed, yeah, you could make a case they didn't need a receiver. They could have went elsewhere. But it's also lining up and drafting the best player available too, and to match your needs. And yeah, they could have maybe taken Jahai Campbell, but guess what? Jahai Campbell is now out for a significant period of time because of a bad shoulder. They could have taken Barron, Jade Barron, maybe, but they could have taken a pass rusher as Raku, sure. But Emeka Egbuka is, I think, personally better than all three of those players. So they took the best player.
I agree with you.
And they very well could do that again this year. And I think people need to be prepared. Don't freak out if it's an offensive player this year. It very well could be. I don't think it'll be receiver. I don't think it'll be tight end. But offensive line is still a potential possibility. So don't panic when they take the best player and it's not defense. With that said, though, I think we all expect them to take defense and continue to add to that side of the ball. So just got to see how it lines up and how it plays out.
Man, at the end of the day, I think that was a GM pick. Understanding, okay, look how my room is. I got aging here.
Yep.
I have to find a way to continuously keep that room good with not having to sign guys like that, right?
Yeah, it's a smart play because you're investing in Emeka, knowing that Mike Evans could not be back next year, and Chris Godwin coming off a major injury, all plays a part. You re-sign Chris Godwin because you believe in Chris Godwin. So I think a lot of factors go into it. And I understand your point as far as having roles, and I agree with that. I think they collaborate on a lot of things, as they should. There should be a decisive plan in place of how you want to attack and build the team. But you, as a GM, a lot of GMs do this, and some do it a lot better than others. And I think Jason Light has done, a good job of this. He looks at the team not just at 1 year at a time. It's more so looking at the team 3 years down the road. You have to stay ahead of the curve and understand that. Yes, he's had his blind spots. We've all talked about it. Edge rusher and linebacker have been disappointing. I brought it up to you about, Noah Spence, and we talk about measurables, and I looked at his measurables and I was like, how can this guy not be good? He had, 33-inch arms. He had 10-inch hands. He had the 4.5 speed. He had all the stuff, but couldn't couldn't win or couldn't stay healthy on the field.
I think he had a 4.8. I don't think
Yeah, he wasn't super fast, but
But it was
still, when you look at his
good.
you look at his production and you look at his size, and same thing with JTS. JTS was built like Tarzan,
Yeah.
6'5", 34-inch arm length. Had the 40-yard dash, had everything.
259, 260, like
yeah, just
right. Yeah. So if you base
just
off
didn't
of
work
that,
out.
right? If you base it off of that, oh, they should be great, right? And then I
Yeah.
bring up the Lavonte David thing. I'm like, no, we're not huge, not fast,
Yeah,
not big hands, not long arms.
Yeah.
But he gets the job done. He's a good football player. He's a guy that sticks his nose into everything. And that's the team that we need. And Alex Anzalone, that's the type of guy he is. This other linebacker we signed, a very consistent player. Everyone, let me pull this up. Because I saw, again, I refer to Facebook because I feel like Facebook's the most negative thing. Holy cow. Let me bring this to the stage. This is this guy's Christian Roseboom. 6'2", 230. We got bigger guys.
Yeah.
He was a practice squad guy, back and forth, back and forth. Look at the last 2 years. Don't look at the little number yet. 135 tackles with the Rams.
Yeah.
Goes to the Rams, 122. Look at that. That looks insane. You got 257 tackles over the past 2 years, 128 average, 12 tackles for loss in that time. It looks pretty good, but Facebook showed just the solos. 69 tackles, 59. They're like, great job, Jason Light, you piece of crap. Damn, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he has that many assists, he's around the ball. That's a good thing. You want that, right? Like, in my opinion, you want that.
Yeah.
And he picked off Baker that last game of the season. So, hey, that was one interception on the season?
Yeah, that was just one interception. Yeah, last game.
Either way, it's like, how can we get social media to wind us up so much to make us into such pessimists? Like, this guy's awful, trash. Why the hell did we even sign him? Why did we even give him a pen?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he put up numbers, but we're looking for competition and a guy that's competent. I think he raised the floor with this guy. I'm not saying he's going to be a star. I'm not saying he's Luke Kuechly. I'm saying he is good enough to when you're put into a position to play a game, we have guys that are playable, right? We had guys that were not playable happen last year, the year before that, the year before that on defense. This guy is playable. Clearly, he put up numbers. Get more guys like this is what I'm asking, and we're doing that. So change your mindset on what the hell you're expecting. If you didn't pay a guy $40 million, okay, good. But you got a guy that has shown you 2 years in a row, almost 3. Hell, look at the year before. He had 79, 48 tackles, assists, 2 tackles for loss. So, I mean, he's not bad. He's not awful.
Yeah. I would just caution, like, there's a lot of ways to get a tackle. You look at Devin White, he had a lot of tackles last year. Yeah. Doesn't mean he's a good football player. So you have to look at the
running at him a lot.
Yeah. You have to look at the film. He wasn't highly graded last year in the games he started. But I think what you said as far as getting a competent player, getting a veteran that can come in and play if needed, I think absolutely it's a much better player in that realm. So bringing in
what we're talking about right here.
Yeah. And I think you bring in competition for Servassier Dennis, and this guy is going to be your linebacker 3, your linebacker 4. He's going to play special teams, and I think that's the biggest component of his addition. Because we're going to probably draft 2 linebackers. I feel confident in that. And I think it's going to be fun to see how the linebacker room, adapts and evolves, because you're getting better athleticism with Anzalone. I think you're getting certain skill sets because Roseboom is sort of the guy that can be that in the box type player, and play that, Mike linebacker, and you have Anzalone who can be the will linebacker, take over Lavonte's role as far as the coverage. So it'll be intriguing to see who they target. And that brought me up to, I believe someone asked in the chat early. And I was going to bring up, if you want to, Mark, we can do a quick 7-round mock draft here and finish the show on that. Yeah, it was this question. Do we think Rodriguez is in play at 15? I think he should be. I'd be thrilled with the pick. Obviously, Rodriguez has been a popular name among Bucs Nation. But let's go ahead. I'll bring this up and we'll do a mock draft here. But just your thoughts on,
to answer the question.
Yeah, linebacker.
In an obnoxious way as I am, not a chance in hell at 15.
Yeah.
At 15. If we're talking second round, yes. I just think, again, I say positional value is a huge thing to me. Like Jeremiah Love is a phenomenal running back. Is he worthy of the top 5 pick? In this draft, maybe, because there's not many like top tier guys.
Yeah,
right?
when you look at the picks, I mean, you had offensive line, you had receivers, corners, but there's your linebacker pick in Sonny Styles.
Oh, but yeah, so there he is. He's a top 4 pick, Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs as a safety. So.
Yeah. So think about it. To me, it's just like I feel like this draft doesn't have elite level prospects.
It's a weaker draft.
Yeah, right. Where level of play matches up to their athleticism, their measurables, where someone's like, oh crap, there's a can't miss guy. Right? There's not many in this draft where you're amazed by it. I mean, maybe, there's not many. I mean, hell, even the quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, Heisman winner, but didn't have phenomenal numbers. Look at his numbers compared to Joe Burrow. Yeah. You're like, who the hell's this guy? He's another one. Great story, great fundamental player, but is he phenomenal like how Joe Burrow was? I don't know. I love the dude based off a story and how Indiana won, but overall, like, I just don't think a linebacker, off-ball linebacker, should be a top 15 pick unless he is like a generational talent or a guy where you're like, I'm going to build my damn defense around this dude.
So with that said, that takes us out of CJ Allen here at 15.
With that said.
So Mark, what do you think? And we don't have to be predictive here. We can do something that you would do. I know a lot of mocks have been saying Akeem Messidor, and that very well could be the play. But I mean, who do you think we should take here at 15?
To bang that he's available as well. I saw Social Mako 793 said, "What do you guys think about Peter Woods? He's available." I'm a fan of his. I mean, everyone at Clemson took a dive down this year. This guy, he was like
big time athlete.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete. He hasn't run the 40-yard dash because of his hamstring,
right? And
he ran the 10-yard split. Everyone's giving him crap for it. I think it was like a 4.7 or 1.7 or 1.6, something like that.
Yeah, it was a good number
for a guy that's 300. He's heavier now. He's like 6'2", 302 or some crap like that in his pro day.
Yeah.
Well, like a guy that can anchor in the run, his running game against a run, he's already good at that. He was a natural born athlete that can, if you watch him and any other defensive tackle in this draft, night and day difference of how people move.
Yeah.
Fat guys like Big Citrus, they don't move well. They hold up. They can stand you up. If you go laterally, they ain't going to run after you. They're like, that play's done. Someone else get him. This guy will run after you. He will stay in the hunt. I'm a big Peter Woods fan, and you can use him in a variety of ways. And I think Todd Bowles likes that as well. It isn't just a nose tackle over the nose, over a 1. He can be a 3 tech. He can be a 4-eye. He can be a 5. Hell, they used him wide 9 at Clemson at times. So he's an athlete that's big. I like those guys. Would I be upset? And that plays into my Caleb Banks as a wild card.
Yeah, you got draft McDonald's.
And that's another thing. So Caleb McDonald, to me, is only a run stuffer. He didn't necessarily show much pass rush.
Messidor.
So, in the grand scheme of things, Peter Woods, I'm a fan of. I wouldn't be upset we took him.
Yeah.
But in this time that we're at, I am agreeing with the pundits that we should kind of address edge.
Yeah.
And Akeem Messidor, even though his foot is the way it is, he is every time he's healthy, he puts up numbers. I'm a huge fan of Cassius Howell.
Yeah.
It's not even a secret. But if you're looking for a guy that's more has your measurables, has your speed, better against the run, Messidor is better against the run than Cassius Howell.
Yeah.
Already. I wouldn't be upset with the pick.
Okay.
But I mean, I would probably select at this current moment Messidor, but I am a huge fan of Cassius Howell and Peter Woods, and I would not be upset with those two picks.
Okay. So what would you do? You're gonna go with
I would do Messidor, and what would you say?
Okay. Yeah, we can go with Messidor. I was letting you have the pick. I mean, if it was me
first, thank you, play.
If it was me, I would go Cassius Howell. But I love Cassius. I think he just changes. I think you can figure out the run defense. I think Cassius has a chance to get even better as a professional, especially when they figure out his footwork and his get off will improve. I just think his ability speaks Nick Bonito, and I know Bonito was a second round pick. Maybe that's where Cassius Howell ends up. But the mindset that he has, the dog mentality, and the production on top of it. You don't really have injury concerns either.
Yeah.
I just think he fits what the Buccaneers are looking for. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
And I agree. I agree with everything you're saying. Yeah. Like even the way that I would formulate my team, I would say get more edge rush help. Cassius Howell is literally the best pass rusher on the board. Akeem Messidor is a very close second, in my opinion. But Cassius Howell and just pure edge rush ability, he's the best guy.
Yeah.
And if that's what you're trying to do, get him. I don't give a crap at his arm length. The way he plays with power too. It's not in a way where most people think of like a dominant big edge rush setting guy, but Messidor was my pick, so I'll shut up and let you take the second.
No, I was just gonna go with Messidor, and now we get into the fun pick because the second round is where everyone wants this guy, Jacob Rodriguez.
There it is.
Yep.
And there's a shot. High.
High and deep. But what are we thinking here? I'll just put it on all. There's a lot of possibilities. You could go defensive line here with like Kristen Miller, who's a very good player, definitely adds size to the defensive line room. Linebacker, I think, is obviously the obvious choice with the players. I'm a big fan of Josiah Trotter. I know you're a big fan of Harold Perkins. Jacob Rodriguez is really good. Galladay is interesting. I just don't think he's ready to play the actual linebacker position, in my opinion. I think he needs time and development, as all these guys do, but I think there's more guys that are ready to play. And Rodriguez does speak to that, especially with what they've added so far with like guys that can play. Rodriguez is a guy that can step in and be that to you. But I also look at like the pairings, like can Rodriguez really be a type of box player that they're looking for? I know he's good in coverage, but I worry about the block destruction and getting off of blocks and stuff like that.
I mean, this one's your pick. I understand everything you're saying. I know you're a huge fan of Josiah Trotter and understand he's a lot more of a bully in the running game.
Yeah.
And Jacob Rodriguez.
And just the blitzing that he brings. Rodriguez is super smart, and I love his ability to run sideline to sideline, make plays around the ball. I just worry about some of the getting around people. But if you have a defensive line where you can set up gaps for him to shoot through, then I could see the vision for him.
But then in that same respect, you need to add more to that defensive line.
Yeah.
So that's where Christian Miller comes into it. But I honestly think of the ranking of these two, Jacob Rodriguez and Josiah Trotter, if they're still on the board in the round 2 right now, I think, especially if you got your edge rusher first round, this would be how you would perfectly hope to set it up. And it would be whichever one the Bucs prefer. I know you prefer probably Trotter, right?
Yeah, I like Trotter.
And I think it's more the way in which you just elaborated. Like
Yeah.
Anzalone, you have him for 2 years. He's going to be filling in your Lavonte David role. Josiah Trotter could be your, I'm going to go attack.
Yeah.
I'm going to be hopefully a smarter Devin White, right? He's almost Devin White. Like, he's not great in coverage. When he's asked to go downhill, he'll go annihilate someone's face.
Yeah.
And is Todd Bowles trying to recreate that, right? So I see what you're thinking, Plus. I see what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would be upset if Jacob Rodriguez is there and we pass on him.
Yeah.
And hell, he may not even be there. But
right.
I just understand the reasoning and how you're trying to build a roster.
Yeah, I just go back to, like, you're trying to get bigger, and like Trotter. I just see Trotter when I watch his tape and the length and the speed that he plays with. And I worry about, like, this number here, the 13.9% missed tackle rate. It's not a good thing. Yeah. I just worry. There's just some worries. And you look at what Jacob Rodriguez had in front of him. I think a lot of people don't give that enough credit. I mean, you had Lee Hunter, you had David Bailey, you had Romello Height, you had the other defensive tackle, Skylar Gill. I think it's Skylar Gill Howard. That was really good. Like, he just had a lot of talent in front of him. And I just think Josiah, I think, is a good pick. Yeah, I'm going to go with Josiah. A lot of people are going to hate me now, but it's all good.
Trash. Trash.
It's all good. And then in the third round, I think it's open to really whatever the Bucs want to do. I mean, you can go big citrus here. That'd be a fun pick. You can go receiver. I know a lot of people love Ted Hurst just because of the size that he could bring and add more of an X receiver. Unsubscribe. I totally get it. Totally get it.
That's great. Yeah. That was gold. Okay. My turn, plus my turn.
Yeah. Yep. Take it away.
Go to tight end.
Tight end. Yeah. Tight end's another possibility. Oscar Delp would be a good pick. Justin Jolly is a good contested tight end. I don't think they're going to take Michael Trigg.
Go to defensive line now.
Defensive line. All right.
Okay, Braden, you got to help me out with this pick now.
Dominic Orange, Darrell Jackson.
No. Darrell Jackson Jr. Jr. is looking mighty appetizing right now.
Grayson Holton is another good one if they want like a more 3-tech, give you some more pass rush. Jackson's got the size that you want. He could play your 5-tech. But you also have Elijah Roberts that you feel could take the next step and be that 5-tech for you.
I think I've taken him before too, Darrell Jackson. I go to interior offensive line.
Yeah, interior O-line. You got Logan Jones. You got more of like center prospects. Billy, I don't know how to say his name. Shurith. He's a good guard prospect. He could probably play. And they have drafted Notre Dame guys before, so.
How'd that work out?
Pretty good. I mean, Hainsey's a good player.
For another team.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with my tried and true just because it's going to play into what we've been talking about. Yeah. Just get bigger. Go to defensive line.
Yeah.
And take the biggest guy there, Darrell Jackson. Not Dominique.
Not Dominique? Okay.
Not Dominique.
We're going more athletic. All right.
I'm going athletic, but big.
Yeah.
I don't know how this one is.
Tell him Darrell Jackson Jr. Say that.
There you go.
Darrell Jackson. There it is. Okay.
Right. So we're in the fourth round now. We could go we could go offense. Chris, we already took defensive tackle. Cage Casey's a good defense, decent interior offensive lineman. But I'm probably going to go tight end here and go with Oscar Delp. He would be a good tight end that you can move around, and so I think that would be cool. So we'll go with that. Mark muted himself.
I'm back.
Okay.
Oh, my boy just got taken. Go up. Scroll up.
Harold Perkins.
I don't know how point is it.
Yeah. So someone asked in the chat earlier about Harold Perkins or what I think about him. The boy can hunt. I'll say that. And again, people worry about his position. I think what Todd Bowles is trying to do, don't push those. Last year, with the way he used Tyke and Jacob Parrish in that role of like a nickel corner that can be a strong safety, that can be in the box, almost like a linebacker. I think he would play that role perfect. And people were like, oh, where do you play? Well, there you go. I just named your position for him, but he's not available.
Yeah.
So I would probably say an interior offensive lineman, or like you were saying, we got a double dip on linebacker. But
I'm trying to see if there's any receivers.
Who's available?
I know the Bucs like this guy, Stribling. He's pretty good. He's fast.
Oh, okay.
Could be a player that they target.
Plus, I will defer to you on this one.
I don't know. Let's see who's the chat.
I'm going to defer to you on this one because
Pat Coogan. Okay.
Oh.
Is that who we're going with? Either Coogan or the receiver, Deshaun Stribling. Who are you thinking?
I'm sorry. He muted you, so that's why I was like, he's talking, but I can't hear him.
Someone said Marshall. The corner. Are you talking about the corner? Oh, Devin Marshall. Okay.
So, like, if we're looking team-wise instead of who the hell we just want.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to get more depth at corner. You lost Jamal Dean. You haven't filled it in at all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want it to be another young guy? I genuinely don't. I think you need to get another veteran.
Yeah.
Again, raise the floor of what you're getting. Do you want another guy that's going to be like Ben Morrison last year that has to learn on the job and that Bills game and just looking like lost because Josh Allen can run around?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that. So I don't. But you do want better special teams players because our special teams has been, in the words of Plus, a cold sore for years.
Yeah, it has been.
So, I mean, I'm hoping for a veteran there. Linebacker, those guys just know how to hunt. So I would say.
We could take another linebacker.
Oh, there you go. There's your boy.
I like Keyshawn Elliott.
Boom.
Yeah, let's do that. He's a good player, special teams guy. Can also just provide competition and potentially start for you as well. So, all right. So we're back up here in the 6th round, almost done. We got, let's see who we picked so far. So we got Messidor, we got Trotter, Darrell Jackson, Oscar Delp, and Keyshawn Elliott. If the draft goes like this, I'd be pretty happy with this. A lot of solid football players.
What cracked me up is when I first saw Messidor, the edge was in red. I thought he was already hurt. Gosh, come on.
The chat is saying Stevens here. I think he might be your best bet.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go Stevens.
I don't think there's any corners. I do like Thaddeus Dixon and safety. Okay. Yeah, we'll probably do secondary with our last pick. But all right. Add size here with Stevens, veteran starter. And then the last pick. Let's see.
Give me some speed.
Yeah. Let's see what we have at corner.
Give me some gunner.
No one's popping out here. I do like this guy. I think he'd be interesting. Cole Wisniewski, good safety. Yeah, that could add to the safety room because you really do need another safety because we don't know what's going to happen with J.J. Roberts. And I think Wisniewski could just provide competition, also be another guy that could help you.
Plus, they were extremely high in J.J. Roberts last year.
They were.
That's another guy we're not even talking about because you didn't see him.
Yeah.
David Walker they're relying on. If J.J.
Mhm.
Robertson be that ball hawking
Free
deep
safety.
safety, right?
Yeah.
A lot of what ifs, a lot of what coulda, shouldas.
People want I don't think Lorenzo Styles is here. Yeah, he's gone. Unless he's on the corner.
He ran fast. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. All right, we'll go with Wisniewski, if I can talk. There we go. So hope you guys enjoy that. Hopefully, I mean, that's a solid draft. I mean, solid B draft. I think it would be add to the rooms in a lot of places, especially at edge. You get a productive player in Messidor. Trotter with the upside only being 20 years old and can grow into the position and help you in a way that you're running behind Darrell Jackson now. You have A'Shawn Robinson. You have a better depth up front. Oscar Delp, that tight end, gives you another move tight end that can stretch the field. And then Keyshawn Elliott, Bo Stevens, Wisniewski all help you in special teams. So I think that would be pretty solid. But we'll try to do more of this kind of stuff as we get closer to the draft, which is crazy. It's only a month away, less than a month away. So a lot of film I got to watch. Going to try to get into the linebacker position. I think Josiah Trotter is probably going to be my next video. I got a lot of film of him already captured. So looking forward to that. But we got to run because Mark's giving me the signal. We appreciate everyone here in the chat. Be sure to not do that. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Comment your thoughts below. We appreciate everyone in here and hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. And with that said, we'll see you on the next one. Go Bucs. See you next time.